Before our first Alaska cruise, we were staring at two Alaska cruises side by side. The same week in similar ports on very similar ships, but one was an extra $1,000. And the difference? One of them went to Glacier Bay. My wife looked at me and said, "Is it really worth it?" And honestly, I didn't know. I'd never been at the time. I'd seen the pictures and read the forums, but I had no idea if Glacier Bay was the kind of thing that actually lives up to the hype, or if it was just something cruise lines charge extra for because, well, they can. So we did what any financially responsible young family does and booked the expensive one. And what happened on that day as we sailed through Glacier Bay, standing on the bow of the ship, is exactly why I needed to make this video. Because if you're sitting there wondering whether you made the right call on Glacier Bay and how to make the most of it if it is on your itinerary, this is exactly the video I wish I'd had. Most Alaska cruise itineraries look the same on paper with only a few key differences. There simply aren't as many different options as you find in areas like the Caribbean. And so it's easy to think that they're all basically the same. Just choose whether you're doing a one-way itinerary or a round trip, and after that, it's just about finding the right ship that offers the right vibe. That is, until you hear about Glacier Bay. And then you're left wondering if you really need to limit your choices to a handful of ships on a handful of cruise lines that typically cost more for what on paper looks like practically the same thing. And then the question becomes, is it worth it? And that's the question I kept coming back to when I was planning my trip. But I couldn't find a straight answer anywhere, just people saying it was amazing or breathtaking without ever really telling me what it actually meant for the decision I was trying to make. So today, I'm going to give you this straight answer I couldn't find. Whether Glacier Bay is worth planning your cruise around and how to make the most of it if it's already on your itinerary. Oh, and if we haven't met yet, I'm Evan from Family at Sea. If this is your first time watching my channel, I'm glad you're here. And if you've been here a while, you already know how much I appreciate you. If you're ready, I am. Let's go. Now, before I tell you what Glacier Bay is actually like, I want to be fair about the alternatives because they're not bad options. They're just different. Tracy Arm is probably the most common substitute you'll see on Alaska itineraries, and it's a narrow fjord with dramatic granite walls, floating icebergs, and two actively calving glaciers at the end, and it's genuinely stunning. Hubbard Glacier is the largest tidewater glacier in North America, and it's actually advancing rather than retreating, which means you get these massive, thunderous calving events that are hard to match anywhere else, but it's typically a short 2 to 3 hour pass. And then there's College Fjord, which is quieter and more panoramic with multiple glaciers spread throughout the fjord, but it's mostly found on one-way sailings and less commonly an option. And all of them will give you a glacier day, but none of them are Glacier Bay. Glacier Bay feels different because it gives you a full glacier experience that lasts 8 or more hours, not just one scenic pass. And one thing to mention there, the only mainstream cruise lines that have passes to get into Glacier Bay are Holland America, Princess, and Norwegian. Now there's some other smaller lines like Cunard that can as well, but none of the other major cruise lines even have access. And it's also worth noting that Glacier Bay isn't a port stop. You're just slowly sailing through one of the most untouched places on Earth. And because only 2 large ships are allowed in the bay each day, it never feels crowded. While other glacier stops can sometimes feel like a cruise ship parade, Glacier Bay feels genuinely remote. Early in the morning, a national park ranger boards your ship via a small pilot boat and spends the entire day on the loudspeakers, walking you through the geology, the history, and the wildlife. There's also typically Tlingit tribal representatives on board sharing the cultural history of a people whose ancestors lived in this bay long before the ice started retreating. You're sailing past multiple glaciers over the course of the day, and the wildlife, whether it's the humpback whales, harbor seals, sea otters, brown bears on the shoreline, and bald eagles overhead, all show up in a way that feels almost orchestrated. The other glacier experiences will give you a highlight, but Glacier Bay gives you something that feels like the defining moment of the entire cruise. And when you start seeing places like this, it also changes how you think about the cruise you booked to get there. And at these price points, the real question isn't whether it's affordable, it's what kind of cruise experience you're actually getting for the money. Because a low fare might get people on board, but it's the day-to-day experience that determines whether you actually have a great time and feel good about what you paid. And that's exactly why we book through Cruises It. Instead of guessing, you're working with people who actually understand the ships, the pricing patterns, and how different itineraries change the entire Alaska experience. They've saved us thousands over the years, helped us land better cabins, and kept us from making choices we would have regretted later. Which is more than I can say for Frank, who once told me, "Evan, I don't need a travel agent. I can book a cruise faster than anyone." Frank, you also said you could assemble that grill without the instructions, and well, we both remember how that turned out. With their low price guarantee and people who actually care, Cruises it makes booking simpler, cheaper, and a whole lot less stressful. So click the link in the description below or call the number on the screen and tell them Evan from Family at Sea sent you. You'll be glad you did. Glacier Bay Day is one of those cruise days where the experience can be completely different depending on how you approach it. One of the best things you can do is find out when the crew plans to open the bow of the ship at the very forward and slip out there as soon as it opens. Early in the morning, it's often completely empty. Later in the day, there'll be better glacier views and maybe even hot chocolate or some cocktails. But there's something incredible about standing out there when it's just you, the cold Alaskan air, and miles of untouched wilderness stretching in every direction. It's one of those quiet moments you just don't forget. My first time visiting Glacier Bay, I woke up ridiculously early and ran straight to the observation lounge because, well, everyone said it had the best views. And it was cool being there with all the excitement and energy, but I got the last window seat at 4:30 in the morning, and honestly, it wasn't worth getting up that early for. The second time we visited Glacier Bay, though, we realized the best seat on the ship was our own balcony. It's quiet, you can wrap up in blankets, order some room service, sip your coffee, and actually hear Alaska around you with the wind, the water, and the distant cracking of ice, and if you're lucky, the occasional whale breaching. And those are the moments you completely miss sitting behind glass in a crowded lounge. Now, if you have an interior cabin or you just prefer being indoors, that's totally fine. Just scout out a few good viewing spots around the ship the day before so you have a plan instead of scrambling when the scenery starts getting good. And don't forget to pace yourself. Glacier Bay usually lasts most of the day, so you don't have to stay outside the entire time. Now, one of my favorite breaks is grabbing a spot in a hot tub for an hour or so. Sitting in warm water while watching glaciers drift past and bald eagles fly overhead is one of those Alaska cruise moments that almost feels surreal. The key, though, is simple. Move around the ship, take it all in, and give yourself time to really experience the day. So after all that, was it actually worth choosing an Alaska cruise specifically because it goes to Glacier Bay? Honestly, yeah, it was. But only if you treat it like the experience it's meant to be. Because Glacier Bay isn't a quick scenic stop you take a glance at between trivia and lunch in the buffet. It's an entire day inside one of the most remote national parks in the United States. And if you approach it that way, if you get outside, move around the ship, listen to the rangers, and actually slow down long enough to take it in, it becomes something really special. The first time you hear a glacier crack and watch a massive wall of ice collapse into the water, the moment a humpback whale suddenly surfaces beside the ship, or standing on the bow with nothing but mountains, glaciers, and open water stretching for miles in every direction, those are the kind of moments that turn Glacier Bay into something you remember long after the cruise is over. But like most things in Alaska, you have to make the most of the opportunity when you're there. But here's the bad news. Even if your cruise visits Glacier Bay and you experience everything we just talked about, that's still only one part of an Alaska cruise. And the moments most people talk about for years afterward usually aren't just the scenery they sailed past. They're the experiences they stepped into in the ports along the way. Flying over a massive ice field, standing on a glacier, or watching whales feed just feet from your boat. But Alaska excursions can cost hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars, and not all of them live up to the hype. But the good news, in this next video, I break down the Alaska excursions that are actually worth your time and money, so you don't spend hundreds of dollars on the wrong experience. So don't stop here, watch that one next, and I'll show you the excursions that truly deliver the Alaska experience people imagine when they book this cruise. I'll see you over there. If you're ready, I am. Let's go.